It's time to live life through the eyes of fit people so that you too can live a fit life yourself. This is Fit Because. I'm one of your hosts, Jennifer Zerling, but you can call me Jay-Z. I'm a fitness and age management expert, author, speaker, as well as an international health advocate.
And I'm your other host, George Veeder. I'm an entrepreneur, cattle rancher, fitness enthusiast, and a 6-time rodeo champion who has a huge amount of knowledge to share with you in the area of self-improvement.
Oh, he does. Get ready to learn how to bridge the gap between knowing what to do and doing what it takes to become physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and financially fit.
You ready, Jay-Z?
Oh, I'm ready, George.
Let's dive in.
And we're back. Jay-Z from Jay-Z Fitness. We got George Veeder in the house. Again, I'm so excited to have you back here with me because every single time we meet for these vodcasts, we just talk about things that come up in my coaching. And the goal of all of this is to educate people on how to overcome the challenges that come their way that hold them back from getting to where they want to go.
Right.
So this particular subject is awesome. It is on time management. How many people do you know who say, I don't have time, I just don't have time, I'm so busy, I have no time?
Everybody, it seems like, and it's become kind of an American part of our fabric in this country. When you ask someone how they're doing, they'll say, I'm busy, but I'm good,
That's right. So, I want to bring up a couple things.
Psychology of busyness.
Yeah, it's like the new cotton, right?
Right.
The new fabric of America.
Exactly.
I'm busy. It's almost like people need to validate their importance sometimes. Right. But another thing is when people say they're busy, it means that they just don't see the importance. They're not prioritizing certain things that they should be. Right. So what I would love to do is really outline our quote-unquote busy schedules, but how we still attain all those goals and all those amazing ambitions that we set forth for ourselves.
Right.
And I'm going to start with you, George. How do you not use that statement, I'm so busy, to be as successful as you are?
Yeah, well, actually, I think we become busy in just the general sense of busyness when we have unstructured time because the void always gets filled, right? Mm-hmm. Something always presents itself for us to occupy our time with. As far as the general use of time, we all have the same amount, right?
That's right.
So nobody has less time than anybody else. In fact, of all of life experience, maybe our time is the element that's the most fair because we all have 24 hours in a day to deal with, right?
And that's probably the only thing that's similar amongst us all is the time that we all have. And you said that before.
So we all have enough time
to
do whatever it is that we want to do. It's just organizational skills in managing time. So that's hopefully what we will do today will be helpful to people in kind of recalibrating the way that they view time and how they organize themselves to move forward towards their goals.
That's right.
And as far as just kind of, I'll tell you a little bit about my life and how I have to organize myself. And then I want to know about you, Jay-Z, because you always are going 100 miles an hour and you get everything done.
110 miles per hour.
Yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
As far as accomplishing life objectives and goals within our time frame that we have to work with here, I think, it is healthy to have a certain sense of urgency because we only have our lives are our lives. We all have ambitions and we all are going on the same road towards the same destination, and there's only so much time to get things done, right? Mm-hmm. So a sense of urgency compels us to do certain things every day. We need to have timelines that we're working around. And once we learn how to create and how to be efficient in accomplishing goals, we can apply those same processes to multiple things at one time. I know that we probably hear that we need to focus ourselves in just one area to be extremely, accomplished. But I think you can make progress in multiple areas at the same time. You don't have to sacrifice being good as a family person in order to be successful as a business person. And you don't have to abandon your health and fitness and maybe sports ambitions in order to pursue some type of profession. You actually can integrate them all, and one can feed off the other. I honestly believe that. It's like with my life, I have my business goals. So Monday through Thursday, I work in my office. in my business with my staff and with my administrators. And so I have a certain amount of work that needs to get done every day. I also have rodeo ambitions. I'm a saddle bronc rider competitively. I have my first rodeos coming up for the year in a couple of weeks here.
Another belt buckle coming your way, man.
Yeah, well, I have awards to win, right? There's still more left in me that I feel like I want to go out there and capture as far as accomplishment within the sport of rodeo. But you have to
Yeah.
prepare. Riding bucking horses or bulls is not like shooting a few hoops, right?
And please remind people how old you are.
Yeah, I'm 54.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm like, there's nobody else my age doing what I do.
No one else your age. But why?
Because of my commitment to fitness and the way that I think
right.
and this process that we're trying to share with people, right? I think hopefully it will be as helpful to them as it has been to me.
That's right.
Anyway, so for rodeo, my normal day for me is I get up early and I train physically. So my physical fitness goals actually facilitate my rodeo goals, being really healthy and being super fit, cardiovascularly, and as far as my muscle and core strength is integral to my rodeo ambition, right? So also when I create my game plan every day to organize my time, I want as many things to be congruent with additional goals that have relatability, right? So physical training relates to my rodeo ambitions, right? So I'll get up and I'll train early in the morning. I have a certain amount of reading that I do every day, which is necessary to keep my mental
Fitness.
focus on, right?
Mental
That's right.
fitness.
Yeah. To be mentally fit.
Hence fit
and to
the
look at the
cause.
world in the right way. So I'm as productive as I can be during that day, and I have an empowered mentality. I have to get myself thinking in a certain direction. So I carve out time to read. It's about a 40-minute commute to get to where I live on the ranch down to the office, and so I listen to books on tape and things that fire me up. I have affirmations that I tell myself, so my pump is primed by the time I get to the gym. Have my workout, do some more reading, start my business schedule. When I get done later at night, then I'll come home. I have a bucking machine that I ride every night
Oh,
to
nice.
focus my fundamentals right in the bottom half of where I live. And then I practice once a week on actual live bucking horses and preparing myself. I watch video every day, which only takes a few minutes, of perfect bronc rides to pattern my mind and what I need to do to ride to the best of my ability. So that's all incorporated in the same day as I'm pushing forward with my business objectives.
And how about as a dad? Because I know you have, 4 kids?
Yes. And so for me, my kids are grown. So nowadays, it's about communication. It's utilizing technology to have FaceTime conversations with my kids and grandkids.
But when?
Well, I do that. It depends on their schedule. So I always have a FaceTime with my daughter Taylor and her daughter Rory, who's 2, between my gym time and my office time.
Every day?
Well, mostly every day. I'd say 80% of the
That's
time I have a
amazing.
FaceTime call, right? And then weekly I have calls with my other kids. Like I have a daughter that's in the Dominican Republic teaching English to little Dominicans right now. And I had a conversation with her this morning. So I communicate with my kids every day
That is amazing.
and price that into my day, but it doesn't really take much time. It's just putting it on paper to remember to do that, right? To organize myself.
So you don't think it, you ink it.
Right. Exactly.
There
You
you
know, a
go.
wish becomes actually a goal once it's on paper, right?
I talk about that in my book, uncluttering your mind.
You
Instead
do.
of keeping it all in your brain, put it
Right,
down,
right.
put it in the scheduler.
Yep. And then I have a cattle ranch. You know, we have about 350 head of cattle on our ranch. And so on the weekends, because again, I work my business schedule from Monday through Thursday, and then I have things to do on the ranch during the weekend, and then I rodeo. You know, 2 years ago, I went to 35 events while I ran my business and while I ran the ranch and all that kind of stuff. This year, I'll probably go to 20 rodeos this summer, in addition to all the other things that I'm doing.
Did you look that up in the beginning of the year? How did you determine that you have time for 20 rodeos this summer?
Well, it's more of not deciding that I have time. It's deciding on what compels me. Goals that really get me excited, that want to keep me up late and get me up early, and then building my time management schedule around them.
Interesting.
And making sure that they dovetail. You know, one is actually helping with efficiency of the other. And I feel like if I'm physically fit and I've done my gym work, you know, with passion, and then I've done my mental work, reading, doing my affirmations, then that helps me in my business, on the ranch, in the rodeo arena, everywhere I'm working.
And you've proven that.
I have, and I'm also like this year I'm going to do a bodybuilding competition in September there in Fresno.
Did you tell me that?
I did tell you that. You forgot, didn't you?
Oh man,
it hurts, but I get over it.
No. Shame on me. That's terrible.
It's okay. I'll remind you next time.
No wondering why you were talking about the veins over your abs this morning. Okay, I get it now. Shame on me.
Anyway, but see, that's easy to just incorporate. I mean, I can eat a certain way to prepare for a competition while I'm about doing all the business of my day, right?
But I want to touch upon that because there's a lot of people that I know go on stage and they, unless they have another competition immediately after, they let their bodies go. Right. So they go between super shredded, quote unquote, to being almost overweight. Yeah. So it sounds like with your lifestyle, you're just constantly fit and you just almost tweak up a couple of edges here and there to get on the stage.
Right. So I think we all have a certain physical condition where life feels the best, right? Like for me, I know that, when I'm in that, 6-7% body fat range, I feel fast. I feel empowered. I like the way life feels. My clothes fit me the way I want my clothes to fit me, and I feel confident. So that's just the way I like to live. So I just have to kind of amp that up, to do a competition, try to gain a few pounds of muscle and then to get in, extra good condition.
And we could go off on a whole different tangent, which we won't
today, right?
But I'm just saying, like on the way to here today, you were drinking hot cocoa in your coffee.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, but what's really cool is you said, because I love chocolate. So it's finding the splashes of pleasures within your week and not making it so abundant, because obviously that's going to take away from your goals of being really lean and feeling very fit and on your A game.
Right.
So really, how in the world would you recommend for somebody who really aspires to be fit? Not necessarily 6% body fat, but really wants to get fit. It's been struggling their whole life, but they ultimately want to lead that structured life that you just talked about.
Yeah. Well,
where do they start?
Well, you got to create habits, right? So workouts become priority. We all have a hierarchy of needs that we will play to every day. We've all seen these hierarchy of needs charts, right? They're a triangle, a pyramid. And so if you are hungry, for example, and you haven't eaten, all you can think about is eating and getting food. You can't think about other stuff. You're not worried about your spiritual life or what's going on with your family or how to build your business when you're starving. You're thinking about eating, right? That becomes what's in front of you and what's biggest, and that is to be taken care of before you can focus on other things, right? And you have shelter and you have safety and things that are necessary for you to just operate as a human being. But along with that, you have to create, or we have to create, to be totally efficient human beings, certain visions about our life, right? That we feel that we are called to be or to do or to have. And so like for me, the rodeo thing always felt like I had championships I was supposed to win.
Right.
And in business, I had certain levels that I felt like I was sent here to accomplish or to elevate to, and other people that I could help and serve only if I was able to master those particular aspirations. And the same thing true with bodybuilding. I saw that as something where I could gain the education of doing a bodybuilding show, because I've never taken steroids or any of that kind of stuff, or the negative. There is a negative side to that world, that I've seen. Yeah. But the positive side that I love is the discipline necessary to prepare for a show and what you learn about your body along the way, right? And you get complete command over your body.
Well, and the cool thing is you have complete control over what happens with your body.
You do. So again, getting back to time management, if we are the keeper of our own visions as our primary responsibility, right? That's our job, and it can't be anybody else's job. So first we have to, like we've talked about at our other vodcasts, we have to decide exactly what it is that we want. And if we don't know, then that's our job right now.
Is to find out.
That's right. You spend time figuring out exactly what would fire you up and keep you excited, because we all have that version of ourselves out there that we would love to be or to do or to have. There's a version that will get us excited, that we can believe in enough to stay motivated. It's not fantastical. It's that next level of our personal evolution as an individual that we strive for, that gets us out of bed in the morning, that keeps us up late at night, that juice of life.
Right. Now, so for some people, that might take time.
You got to think about
So,
it.
so what are they thinking about if they don't know the answer?
What would make them happy? Okay, so the human condition has commonality. We think we're all unique, but in a lot of ways we're all the same, right? We all want to be happy. Nobody has a goal to be miserable. We all want to be happy, right?
That's correct.
So we have that's in us, and that's individualized, but we know what would make us happy, or we think we know. We might evolve to what would make us happy right now might be different in the future. That's good. That's just personal evolution as we grow through our lives. But we got to think about that. Spend time, get off by yourself. What could you do or be or have that would really fill you up? Everybody can get to that spot mentally, and then put it down on paper, and then hold that vision, rehearse that vision every day. That's the discipline. That's what we can't do for somebody. We can encourage you, be a part of your support system, but ultimately you have to decide what it is that you want, what your focal point's going to be in life ambition. And then once you have that, once you have the vision of what you want, what you can be, and what would make you fired up, and you've articulated that, and then you have put it down on paper where it's clear and concise and detailed, then you start managing your time based on that. You start moving the ball forward in those areas every day. So like for myself, I never go to bed without planning my next day. And I do it the old school way, right? Jay-Z, you see, I always have spiral notepads everywhere, right?
Which is great.
And I use, my notes in my Apple phone and stuff as well. But to me, this is just
This is
more
old school.
tangible. I like it.
I'm the same way. Yep.
Yeah, right. So I will write down, okay, I'm getting up at 5 in the morning. It's my typical get up time. So from 5 o'clock until 10 o'clock at night, I map it out. What am I going to do tomorrow?
Right.
I look at my management or my calendar for work, so I know what I've got to accomplish, and then I fill in all the other blanks, the other time availability, right? I make sure I get my workout in and what I'm going to do for my workout. And then I make sure I get my reading in. I put it on my
calendar,
list, right?
Exactly.
And then I'll draw a circle at the bottom of my schedule that I've written out, and I'll divide it up into pie pieces. Circle with the,
like a pie.
Right. And in each one of those areas that I've divided in my pie of time, so to speak, I'm going to put down things I'm going to accomplish that day to progress me towards those goals. So, for example, in business, I need to close this deal and I need to interact with this client to settle this issue or whatever. Those are the most important things in my business that I need to do today, and that's what I'm going to attack.
So pause for a second. In that little circle, it's a tiny little circle. How do you write all those words in that tiny little circle?
Well, it doesn't have to be a tiny circle. It can be half the page. So
it's half the page.
Make a big circle.
Gotcha.
So I will put on the outside of my piece for business, and then the most important things I need to accomplish that day and make sure that they are calendared in. And then I'll put physical life, right? So my body, which I put in the same space as rodeo because it's important to be in shape to
That's right.
for my rodeo ambitions, right? So what my workout's going to look like, what my cardio is going to look like, what I'm going to do to practice, videos I'm going to watch to train my brain
for that particular day.
Right, for that particular part of the ambition. And then I'll do the same thing for my family. Who do I need to call today? Who haven't I talked to in a couple of days or whatever? Or who can I shoot a note to in my family, my kids, that would be appropriate, that would fill them up, that would make their day better, right? So I'll put some of those things that I can do for family members, right? And then I'll also put in my spiritual life. What can I do? Have I read my scriptures? Or I need to do that today, right? Or am I going to find ways to intentionally be kind? Say maybe 3 specific acts of kindness that I can think of right now would make a difference.
That you will do today.
Right, that'll be beneficial, right? Because you can't do for somebody else something great that doesn't fill you up at the same time, right?
Of course.
It's always reciprocal.
Always.
So I will make sure that I live my life with intention and that I move forward in each important area of my life. And then when I close my eyes at night, I feel like a rock star.
You feel like you've achieved a lot.
I'm moving into my vision, right? I have a clear picture of what I want to be. I'm grateful for where I'm at now. And as I move in that direction of whatever my next evolution is towards my goals, and I have written what I need to do each day to get there, then that's being realized. It's not in my life right now, whatever my next goal is, but I'm on the way to it, right?
And it doesn't take a lot of time to plan that each day. And to your point, I love the old school calendar. I love checking things off as I go through my day.
Cross off.
You cross off or check off. You could highlight things. You can color code. It makes you feel so empowered of your time so that you're not ever saying to yourself, I don't have time. So if somebody asks somebody, hey, you want to get together at, tomorrow, you could look at your calendar and say, I'm not available tomorrow, but how about the next day at 3 p.m. or in 3 days from now? I think people are very scared of saying no. So therefore they say, I am busy. Is that a possibility?
Could be. It's a default.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's really the work comes into realizing that we do have the time to be great. We just have to choose.
And it doesn't take
Right.
that much time to organize ourselves and get on this progressive track with time management. So like writing out the last thing I do for the day, writing out what I'm going to do tomorrow.
Right.
And then doing my little pie chart and filling and making
I
sure
love
that
that pie chart.
I'm being successful in each facet of the circle, right? Or moving towards success in each part of the circle. That's my vision. That takes maybe 10 minutes. It's not like a big deal. We talked about this before we got on air today about how that if we don't have structured time, we end up having the void filled with whatever, social media, where we all of a sudden we realize we've been on Facebook for 40 minutes or what have you.
Even if it accumulates to 40 minutes, because 10 minutes here, 3 minutes there, it adds up.
That's right. So you have all these time wasters that automatically enter your life if time is unscheduled, right?
Television.
So they're inefficiencies. I'm not saying you shouldn't do some of that. And remember too, relaxation is a part of what you need to price into your day. You can't just wear yourself out. And sometimes we feel like, or I hear people, I'll talk about reading something positive every day to friends of mine and colleagues and clients. And I'll have people say, well, I'm just too busy to do that. Or the same thing you hear about the gym every day, right?
Yes.
I'm just too busy. I would like to. I did it for a while, but I'm just too busy.
I'm just too busy.
Actually, if your time needs to be compressed because of all the priorities you have in your life, that makes you more efficient with those things. Like if I only have 20 minutes for cardio, 20 minutes for training, those are my best workouts because I compress and create efficiencies with my time, right?
Yep.
If I only
fewer
have
rest periods.
Right. And as far as the mental aspect of reading things that are positive to get you empowered to approach whatever you've put on your schedule that needs to get done today. I have people tell me all the time, I just don't have really time to read and blah, 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 blah. I'll say, look, it's kind of like sharpening your axe. And you may have heard this metaphor, but the old story of a guy out in the woods that needs to chop a tree down. And he doesn't want to take time out to sharpen his axe because he wants to get the tree chopped down. So he's chopping and the axe becomes more dull, which requires more swings with more
energy,
effort, right?
Yep.
And he wears himself out chopping this tree down instead of taking the 10-minute breaks to sharpen his axe to make it more efficient and faster. Well, that applies to us mentally, right? We don't have time to do the things that are healthy and empowering, which creates less efficiency in everything else that we're trying to do. So take time to do those things that are empowering. We have to. We honestly have to be what we have potential to be.
I really love that. I really do. Now, have you ever finished a day that you looked at that little pie chart and you said, wow, I didn't get this done or that done? And if that happened, what did you do about that?
I'm pretty good about that, but it rolls over, right? So if there's something that I didn't get to...
Oh, it's a rollover plan.
Yeah. You just put it into the pie chart for the next day and you make sure it's the first thing you do.
Easy enough.
Right. It is pretty simple. So, JZ, we've talked a little bit about my life. Now, you manage a ton of activity with your schedule. So tell us a little bit about what that looks like for you.
I mean, every day is different for me. I work with 8 different companies. I'm an independent contractor. I also have JZ Fitness, my brands, working with my nutrition coaching clients, my personal training clients, but I'm also a group exercise instructor. I run after school programs. I mean, I do a lot of different things. So for me, when people say, oh my gosh, how do you get so much done? You have so much going on. For me, it's exactly what you did. Even with my varying schedule, I schedule everything. Mm-hmm. I look at my workouts like almost like a personal training session. Oh, yeah. So when my clients ask, can we train at this time instead of that time? If it's my training session with me, I don't give that up. I will never put myself second to anything because, people say, oh, I would never train with a trainer that's out of shape. Well, duh. That's, I mean, I have to stay in shape. People assume because I train people and I'm in the gym training people that I'm training with them.
Right.
I'm not. I'm guiding them. You know, I'm a kinesiologist, so I'm looking at their form. I can't hop on and do squats with them. I'm looking at every little movement as they go through the motion. So I have to schedule my workouts. Like today, I have a 3:00 session with myself. Okay. It could have been earlier should you have called me, but you didn't because usually I'm training a client who's in Vegas. But the point is, I knew yesterday that today I'm working out at 3:00. I know at 1:00 I have a call with a patient to talk about her nutrition and getting her back on track. I already know my schedule for the rest of the day. I knew that we had a 10:30 recording this session today. So it's never overwhelming to me. Oh my God, I have a lot to do and I just don't have enough time. It's everything's compartmentalized and it makes it much more time efficient for me to a level that I could fully commit myself to every single hour of my day with whatever I am doing, with whatever company I'm working with. And it's the same thing when I teach classes. If I have 3 back-to-back classes, how do you teach 3 back-to-back classes? Aren't you exhausted by class number 3? No. To stay fully committed and present to each individual hour, that's how I'm most efficient for all those people that count on me, whether it's the first class or the third class. But you have to be in control over your own schedule. Right. You have to be. You can't use the excuse of I'm too busy, I'm too tired. Like you said, and I love that metaphor, if you have not enough efficiency in the tools you're using, then you're going to be exerting too much effort, which is why you're tired, which is why it seems like time is not available to you.
No question about it.
So.
No question about it. Yeah, actually, the universe loves speed. So if you have a good clip to your day, it goes by quicker and it's more fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you're trying to be efficient with your time, you're compressing your schedule to get more stuff done. There's energy and excitement and you don't get tired. It's like re-energizing. Mm-hmm. So the last thing I want to say, because I know our time's getting short, but I just want to say this.
And we like to keep these podcasts short. That's, you know.
Yeah. We don't wear you out.
A little at a time.
That's right.
So that you have time to listen.
But I believe that we all have one life to live, right?
That's right.
And we should have a sense of urgency about it. And we have to organize that life. And we have to empower ourselves by our vision because we only have one life. But if we do it right, one life is enough.
I agree with that.
Time management is mission critical.
And it's your choice. So make the choice to be time efficient. This has been Fit Because, hosted by Jennifer Zerling
and George Veeder. Be sure to follow us on social media at Fit Because Show on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
And for past episodes, be sure to visit our website at fitbecause.com.
Also, please subscribe to our show on iTunes and be sure to rate and comment. You may always request topics for our subsequent episodes.
And if you love this episode, please share it with someone you love so that we can continue spreading our mission to help people be fit.
Until next time, take care of yourself and know that your future is
Fit Because.